Life, my friend, has a funny way of testing us. One moment, the waters are calm. The next, you're caught in a storm you never saw coming. And when that storm hits, when plans fall apart, when people disappoint you, when life just doesn't go your way, something inside you has to make a decision. Will I panic or will I pause? Will I complain or will I respond? You see, what I've learned, and maybe you've seen this too, is that life doesn't always give us control over what happens, but it always gives us control over how we respond. And that response, that's what makes all the difference. Now, what I want to share with you today is not just a motivational idea or a feel-good slogan. It's a way of living, a philosophy. It's the practice of staying calm when others lose their heads. It's the mindset of walking through fire and not letting the heat define you. It's learning how to carry yourself with clarity even when everything around you is unclear. I call it the art of becoming unshakable. Not cold, not fake, not numb, but steady, grounded, focused, like a tree that bends with the wind but doesn't break with the storm. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Jim, that sounds good in theory, but when you're in the thick of it, it's not that easy. And you're right. That's why this mindset has to be built. It takes time, it takes repetition, but most of all, it takes a decision. You have to decide, I will not be ruled by what's happening outside me. I will be led by what's solid inside me. And let me tell you, when you start living that way, people notice. You start responding with grace. You stop reacting with panic. And life starts to feel different, because it is. If we want to become unshakable, we have to understand what shakes us. Seems obvious, doesn't it? But most people go through life reacting to stress without ever asking, where is this really coming from? The truth is, we all carry stress. Some carry it from relationships, some from money, some from careers that no longer fit, and then there are the invisible ones, expectations, fears, pressure to be perfect. Life piles it on. But here's the secret. It's not the stress that breaks us, it's how we see the stress. You see, two people can go through the same struggle and walk out with two very different stories. One says, why me? The other says, what's this trying to teach me? That small shift changes everything. Because when you change your perception, you change your experience. And when you change your experience, you change your life. Let me tell you something I've learned the hard way. Stress isn't the enemy. Sometimes it's the spotlight. It shines on your weaknesses, but also on your strengths. It shows you where you need to grow, where you've been avoiding, where the real work begins. Now, don't get me wrong, if you ignore it, it will cost you. It can drain your energy, cloud your judgment, hurt your relationships. But if you face it, if you name it, if you understand it, that's when the shift happens. You stop being afraid of the waves and you start learning how to surf. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you feel overwhelmed, don't reach for the escape. Don't numb it. Don't run. Just pause and ask yourself, what's this here to teach me? Because the most powerful people I've met aren't the ones who never get shaken. They're the ones who learned how to stand back up every single time. If you really want to become unshakable, it helps to learn from those who've done it before you. History is full of people who stood calm while everything around them was falling apart. And I don't mean they didn't feel pain. I mean they didn't let the pain become their identity. Think of men like Marcus Aurelius or Cicero, leaders, thinkers, warriors of the mind. They believed this: you may not control what happens to you, but you can control how you carry it. That idea has lasted over 2,000 years. And then you look at our own time, people like Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison. And he came out not with bitterness, but with vision. That's not weakness, that's power. So what did these people all have in common? They practiced something most folks overlook: equanimity. It's a big word, but it just means this: inner balance. Staying steady when life is bumpy, calm when others lose their heads. And no, it doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough not to let circumstances dictate your peace. And here's the beautiful part. This kind of strength, it's not just for heroes or philosophers. It's for you, if you're willing to work on it. So, how do we build it? Well, it starts in the mind. You train yourself to pause instead of panic. You start responding with intention instead of reacting with emotion. One of the best tools for that is mindfulness. being fully present, even when it's uncomfortable. You take a breath, you stay aware, you choose your move instead of letting the moment choose it for you. And then there's emotional intelligence, learning to understand what you're feeling and what others are feeling without losing yourself in the process. When those two tools start working together, you begin to shift. Little by little, you become the calm in the storm, not by pretending you don't feel, but by refusing to be ruled by it. And here's something to remember. You don't build this strength overnight, but if you practice it daily, even just a little, one day someone will come up to you and say, "I don't know how you stay so calm under pressure." And you'll smile, because you do know. You don't become unshakable by chance, you build it. And like anything worth building, it takes practice. Not once a year, not once a month, but daily. Little things, simple things, done with purpose. See, people are always looking for the big breakthrough. But what really changes your life are the small habits done consistently. Let's start with this one, daily reflection. Take 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what did I handle well today? What could I do better tomorrow? That's how you grow, not with guilt, not with shame, with awareness. Next, self-care. Now, I'm not talking about bubble baths and spa days, unless that's your thing. I'm talking about eating right, sleeping well, moving your body. Why? Because your body is the house you live in. And if the house falls apart, it's hard to stand strong inside it. Take care of your energy. It's your fuel. Then there's mindfulness, just being present. Not drifting into yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's worries, just being here. You can practice it anywhere. When you eat, actually taste your food. When you walk, feel your steps. When you talk to someone, listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. And of course, there's emotional intelligence. Learn to name your emotions instead of being named by them. When you're angry, admit it, but don't explode. When you're sad, feel it, but don't drown in it. See, emotions are messengers, but you decide what to do with the message. Finally, and maybe most important, learn from your failures. Don't hide from them. Don't pretend they didn't hurt. Look them in the eye and say, "Thank you. Now let's move forward." Every setback has something to teach. Every mistake contains a lesson. And if you're willing to listen, you'll find that failure is not the end of strength. It's where real strength starts. There's one more thing I want to leave with you, and if you hear nothing else I've said, hear this. True power is a mix of grace and strength. Not just pushing through life, but walking through it with purpose and dignity. Grace is how you treat people when you're tired. It's how you talk to yourself when you failed. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. And strength? Real strength isn't about being loud, it's about being steady. It's the courage to be open, the guts to keep showing up, even when nobody's clapping, even when it hurts. Put grace and strength together and you get something powerful, something rare, like a tree that stands through the storm, not because it's rigid, but because its roots go deep. So how do you build that? Start with self-awareness. Know what matters to you. Know what you stand for. Then add a little gratitude. Not the fake kind. I'm talking about the kind that says, even with all this going on, I still have something to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't erase the hard stuff. It just keeps your heart open while you go through it. Next, practice emotional discipline. Feel everything, yes, but don't let those feelings run the show. You're the one in charge. Then get comfortable with change. Life won't wait for your permission to shift. So instead of resisting it, grow with it. And finally, find your why, your purpose. Because when life gets hard, and it will, your purpose will remind you why you keep going. Now listen, you won't get all this perfect. Nobody does. But each day you choose grace. Each time you respond with strength instead of fear, you become someone the world needs more of. someone solid, someone kind, someone unshakable. That's who you're becoming, and the world is better for it.